They got coffee and snacks.
It's not for you and it never was for you.
Your time is done.
This bothers me for him.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the show. So glad you could be here today. Listen, we have a great show planned for you and a lot of liberal madness to get through. There seems to be these Minnesota tent warriors popping up. We've got people declaring who the real victim is in that horrible shooting up in British Columbia, Canada. And I'll give you a hint. It's not the victims. And then we've got some voter ID meltdowns. These people are absolutely out of touch and insane, consistently picking the wrong side of 80-20 issues. This is actually more of a 90-10 issue. And then we're going to be wrapping up with a mystery dog that might actually be a miracle. It could actually possibly restore your faith in humanity. It's a touching story. So let's get into it, my friends. Sit back, relax, and buckle up. We're about to enter the Lib Zone.
Guys, check this out. I'm in a warming tent at the protest. There's like a little spot. It's like 80 degrees in here. There's a little heater. They got coffee and snacks. I'm chilling out for a little bit, charging my phone.
Wow.
Man, I love my city.
If I see anyone that did not support the Super Bowl halftime show celebrate Cinco de Mayo, baby, it don't work like that. It's not.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. What? How are you making any kind of correlation to the two events?
For you and it never was for you.
My favorite thing about myself is that I am the left-leaning black sheep degenerate of my family.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay because when all of this crap comes to light, I'm going to be on the right side of history.
Of
and I'm
course.
totally okay.
Did you just throw me a white supremacy sign? Oh my gosh, the humanity.
Okay with that. Last night with the Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny,
Okay, yeah.
my stepdad is Hispanic, and I love his culture, and he always made some delicious smelling food in the house growing up. It would kind of bother
Delicious non-food? Is that, did you say non-food? Okay, I don't know.
my throat sometimes because it was spicy. But you know what? I respect that. And he spoke Spanish in my house every day, on the phone with his parents, on the phone with his other family members. And yet my mom and my other side of that family was just ranting and raving about the TPUSA halftime show.
So that's the normal, sane side of your family, I take it?
Now, I don't know if my stepdad watched it. I don't know if he decided to watch Bad Bunny. I don't even know if he likes Bad Bunny. But
Probably not. He has no idea who Bad Bunny even is. Most people don't. That's the problem.
maybe he doesn't care. But this bothers me for him.
And that's the problem with all these lefty Karens, is they have this savior complex that they have to, take up all these causes to save all those little people that just don't know what they're doing.
And I just wanted to talk about it. So, yeah. Happy Monday.
Your ignorance will not be marked as an excuse.
Okay.
At this point, you have been willingly so.
Oh, well, willingly so. That sounds pretty serious. Let's see what else you have to say.
And you will not be welcome back into whatever society we build without you.
Like some deranged Lord of the Flies society? Is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Your time is done.
Dude's done 3 tours in the gender war already. He looks pretty hammered. This is what meth looks like when it's addicted to heroin. I didn't know that could even be a possibility, but he might be the poster child of it. I don't know. Well, that's methed up.
I don't know why these pale men be thinking that their beauty standard matters. Boo, you have never been my beauty goals.
Okay.
Your beauty standards have never been my goals, ever.
Okay.
My goal was to look like a video vixen. That was always my goal. We live.
I think you're falling short of that, my dear. Just a little bit.
We live in two different communities. Okay.
I think the word you're looking for is 2 different worlds, 2 different realities, maybe? I don't know.
Okay?
Okay.
You live in your community where your beauty standard is your beauty standard. Don't bring that beauty standard over to me.
So why is everyone using the R word now?
Because why not?
Like, you guys sound like a bunch of teenagers that just discovered the word and now you say it every
Ouch.
other word.
That hurts.
Like, truly, you couldn't sound any more unintelligent if you tried.
I'm pretty sure I probably could if I really gave it a shot.
If I hear you say that word,
Mm-hmm.
everything else that you said is just irrelevant now. Like, literally, you sound like you're 13 years old.
When did we stop saying retarded? Okay. No, the R word is more relevant today than any other time in history. I think that is a fact. Okay, she's not retarded. She's a libtard. Is that better? I guess you could call her libtarded. Would that work better for you? I think it would. But the thing is, my dear, we're not using it in the way you think we're using it. Let's get some clarification on the English language. I think we could all benefit from this. Approximately 64% of words in the English language have more than one definition. Wow, that's 64%. That's higher than what I thought. Depending on the context in which it is used, including retard. When we call you a retard for making this video, we are using it in the context of definition 3, see image below, not definition 2. Well, let's take a look at this image. Okay, it's out of Merriam-Webster, retard, noun. First definition, a holding back or slowing down, retardation. Okay. Here's the second one, offensive, a person affected by intellectual disability, which, I mean, I would never use it in that context because that's horrible. And number 3, informal plus offensive. I don't know about that, but a foolish or stupid person. Hey, if you're enjoying the show, please support the channel by buying a hot chocolate because the Lib Zone runs on it. Well, my friends, it is still February, which means it's still Black History Month. So let's take another look at a member from the Black community, and she pretty much can find racism in anything. Let's take a look.
I don't know about other Black folks, but I'm gonna just say this. I will never find it cute seeing people decorate their home with monkeys unless it's an actual primate statue. So I follow this houseplant YouTuber, and I've been following her for years, probably since 2020. She's never been problematic, always been very informative, things like that. But then all of a sudden, she has like a short or a reel where she bought a hanging plant extender, so it extends the distance between the plant and the hook on the wall.
Yeah.
And it's monkeys. There's these monkeys, and she's saying how cute she thinks they are, and all of this mess. It's a no for me. Now, I'm not gonna assume anything, because honestly, I don't know. But there's plenty of double-sided hooks that can be used to achieve the same purpose, and they're plain and neutral.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be monkeys. It doesn't have to be anything for that matter. So to me, that tells me that it's a choice. She chose those brown monkey extenders.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, am I alone in feeling this way, or do other Black folks feel this way as well? Or anybody for that matter?
Well, I know I don't. And I think it's also a choice that you see racism in a figure of a monkey. I mean, who cares? It's a monkey. So like the toy, the monkeys in a barrel, are you totally triggered when a kid plays monkeys in a barrel and links all the monkeys together and dangles it? Does that freak you out? Look, lady, not everything is racist. Sometimes a monkey is just a monkey. Get over it. Well, tragedy has beset British Columbia, Canada, at Tumbler Ridge Elementary School, where there was a mass shooting. And the one interesting thing, well, there's actually a few, but the first thing I want to mention is that all of the coverage, which wasn't a lot from the mainstream media, but all of the coverage was very clear to say that a woman was found at the scene. A woman, looks like she opened fired on herself after she tragically shot and killed 10 people and injured, I believe, 25 others. It is absolutely horrible. But let's take a look at some of this coverage. And as you can clearly see, it's in every single article, it mentions a woman, a female suspect, female identified as suspect. But this is the one that kind of is interesting to me, because they're really pushing this narrative that a female had committed this horrible crime. It says, Canada's school shooting, 9 killed by female in dress in Tumbler Ridge. Everything we know so far. And they have to really, really stress that this was not just a female, but this was a female in a dress, not a female in jeans, but a dress, because it was clearly a female. But of course, we know that is not the truth. It was a trans dude, female, trans. He's a guy, okay? He's a dude. I think his name is Jesse Van Rootseller, but I've seen also another name attached to him. But in any case, both accounts, Jesse was the first name. And this is supposedly the what he looks like, but that's not even exactly sure. So there's some, I don't know, there's some people that are saying this is not the image of him. And check out this press conference where they are so determined not to dead name Jesse the killer. What about the people that he killed, that he actually made dead? All the people that are fighting for their lives right now. This guy is a piece of trash, and who cares if you offend him or offend his family? I don't care. This is a horrible human being, and unfortunately, they pumped him with drugs. They brainwashed him at a young age to tell him that he was not a boy, that he was actually a girl. And they messed this guy up and then put drugs in his system to make him psychotic. And I don't care what you say. This is what is happening with all these transgender, not all the transgender, but we're seeing a definite pattern. But anyways, check this out. This is just sickening.
We're not hiding it. In fact, you're the first media to ask the question. I will say this. We identified the suspect as they chose to be identified in public and in social media. I can say that Jesse was born as a biological male who approximately, the information that I have, approximately 6 years ago began to transition to female and identified as female, both socially and...
You're totally a girl. They made you miserable. By the way, that's a gun-free zone. That's exactly how it happens, my friends. But we have to remember that trans women are insane men. That's a better correction, yeah. And up next is a guy, and he is clearly a dude, and unfortunately is using this tragedy to play the victim card. I don't understand the narcissicity of these people, but it's on full display. It's because, it's all about me. Let's check it out.
So the situation in BC that's just happened has reminded me of back when I was in grade 11. That's when Columbine happened. And when I went back to school, I remember heading to my first class, this group of guys that usually like to bully people. They saw me looking all gothy like I usually do, and they were like, "Oh, there's a goth. Are you gonna hurt us?" And I was like, "Hey, those guys probably were bullied a lot, and I'm betting that's why they ended up flipping out on people, is the constant bullying. Have you ever considered being nice to people?" Well, that comment alone resulted in me getting suspended from school. And I remember I appealed it up to the superintendent. They told me, "Hey, we know you didn't do anything wrong. We're literally just suspending you in case somebody who is goth does flip out and cause problems, and we get sued for it." It was basically they just wanted to cover themselves. So now with what's happened in BC, I wonder what's going to happen with trans people.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that 35 people are dead and injured. Let's talk about me.
Well, I'm starting to see a pattern here, guys. It's pretty obvious.
Yep.
A horrific scene in BC at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School where...
Oh, it's a secondary school.
A transgender male, born a male, wearing a dress, shot up a school where 10 have been confirmed dead. 25 injured.
So sad.
One of the biggest horrific things that have happened to Canada in decades. And we see this in the States a lot. There's a pattern there as well.
Yeah.
But yet, both our governments push this gender ideology garbage in our schools, in daycares, in the universities. You don't think it's going to breed this type of mental illness? This act of complete, it's horrific, man. Those families have to live without their children now because of someone who couldn't figure out who they were.
And why is that? Because they were tapped at a young age and the grooming began, and this is the result, and it's horrible. And you know, the left say, oh, it's just such a tragedy when we separate people from their parents, when we deport them. Well, this guy separated 10 people from their parents, and they will never have a chance to come back in this life to see each other. We're gonna have to wait till the next life.
This is a mental illness, guys. This isn't something we should be pushing.
Nope.
There's two genders in this world. Male, female.
It's pretty obvious.
That's it.
Yeah.
Both our governments, liberals and conservatives, have supported this shit. And look what it breeds. Guys, it's only going to get worse, trust me.
As a person who went to school,
okay,
had hateful comments directed my way.
Sorry.
The first victim of this tragedy was the shooter. And you can disagree all you want.
Yeah, I will.
But that person did not just decide one day that it was the day. It was the day that they could not take it any longer.
And why is that? Why would they even be thinking that?
I know it's a small community.
Yeah.
But you know what also comes with a small community? A small mindset. An uneducation to understand that maybe difference is okay.
Yeah, difference is okay. I mean, look, when I was younger, you would hear of transvestites, you know, men dressing up in women's clothes. It was weird. It was an odd thing to think of, but you never heard of any kind of violence coming from those people who decided to don a pair of panties or a dress or whatever. But now they're pumping these kids. They're chopping off their junk and they're pumping them full of drugs. And of course, they're going to become psychotic. I mean, what other end result could there be?
The first victim to this tragedy
shut up.
Was the shooter.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Verbal abuse is what pushes people to a point where they don't feel worthy to be here any longer.
Well, if they would just have told this guy that, you know, he is a son of God, that he is a man, and that whatever feelings he's feeling, they'll correct themselves over time. And then, of course, again, you pump him full of drugs. And what do you think? This guy's going to become all crazy.
And I only know this because I am a victim of this still to this day.
Sure.
There's only so much a person can handle.
I
believe that in a small community.
Your small-minded community that you just said? You just kind of threw yourself under the bus.
The hate and the transphobia in this country.
Oh, yeah, transphobia. Oh, yeah.
Is the reason.
Sure.
Why tragedies happen.
Yeah, it's not the brainwashing or the drugs. Nah, it has nothing to do with it.
Here's a question for Canada. How can we push back against the ensuing explosion of transphobia stemming from this horrible school shooting in British Columbia yesterday. It's already started. Right now, there are all these people saying, well, the shooter was transgender. In Canada, we have disgusting bigots, just like they have down in the States. Whenever there is a shooting down in the States, there's a certain faction, the right, who tries to say, oh, they're trans, and all trans people are murderers, you know?
No, we do not say all trans people are murderers. However, there has been an overwhelming trend that shooters recently, in the last several years, I would say, have been all trans. So there is a difference. But of course, you don't care to know the facts.
And it's already happening here in Canada. Now, whether or not the shooter was, it first of all doesn't matter. But they are going to use this to attack all trans people. It's hate speech. It's just plain bigotry. And we cannot tolerate it. So how can you push back against it? These people need to be called out online. When you see someone posting, I think this should happen all the time anyways. When you see someone posting bigotry online, screenshot it. Send it to their family.
And who determines that it's bigotry?
Send it to their work. If it is an account that is clearly a bot, if they've got like 6 followers, like 5 posts, and they're following like 300 people, that's a bot. Don't worry about it. If it's real people, screenshot it, send it to friends, send it to their family, send it to their work. Because that's, first of all, not doxing. That is just showing people what they freely post online. If they're fine posting it, then everybody should know what they're posting.
So you just want people to go viral? Okay.
This needs to be curbed. This kind of bullshit, there have to be consequences for it. The fact that they can use something so horrible like this to spread bigotry, we cannot tolerate it. There have to be consequences. Let's give it to them. People call it cancel culture. No, I don't give a shit. It's not the 90s. All this anti-LGBTQ plus bullshit, I don't stand for it. Nobody should. So when you see it, make sure other people see it. I don't see the problem with that. If they're bold enough to post it, why shouldn't all the people in their lives see it? That's my idea of how we can push back against this. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because this is bullshit.
Men commit 90% of violent crimes in Canada.
Including this latest shooter, because he was a man.
But you'd never know that if you listen to the right or conservatives. What happened in Tumbler Ridge is a senseless tragedy, and really, other than law enforcement and first responders, our only job is to be sending our love and comfort and support to the victims and their families. Yet the entire discourse right now happening is around the shooter's gender identity. So much so that now politicians, content creators, and other right-wing people are talking about this epidemic of trans people committing violence. But you never hear them talk about men committing violence. In fact, men are never the problem. They would have to be doing posts like this multiple times a day. Making this tragedy a part of your sick, disgusting, and depraved social and culture war makes me sick to my stomach. And my heart and love goes out to the victims and their families.
Didn't Canada ban guns? Yeah, I thought I read that somewhere. How many times is this going to happen before society collectively decides they've had enough of deranged men in dresses being violent animals? Trans is a mental illness and nothing else, and it shouldn't be affirmed. I'll agree with that. It's literally them 99% of the time now, and that is definitely the trend we've been seeing. The left is avoiding this like the plague. Well, of course it is, or they are, because it doesn't fit into their narrative, right? So yeah, they're just going to pretend like it didn't even happen, or just kind of wave it off like, no big deal. It's just a shooting. President Trump is definitely on a hot streak right now with the job reports being better than expected and the SAFE Act just passed in the House, which we'll get to in a moment. But some of the Dems say, hey, look, it's over. It's all over. President Trump and MAGA, they just need to hang up their coat and concede that they're about to get their butt kicked. Let's check it out.
The whipping that is coming is going to be complete and it's going to be total, and you're going to be disgraced.
The public has turned against him.
Donald Trump's coalition, the Republicans' coalition, is not crumbling from the edges. It's crumbling from the center. He's losing the independents.
And here's those numbers I was just talking about. 130,000 jobs added and a 4.3 unemployment rate. Both are above what was expected. So I think Trump must be doing something right. My friends, I think hell just froze over because the media is giving Trump a compliment. What? Let's check it out.
This is being seen as good news even on Wall Street.
This is a hot
jobs report. I mean, there's really nothing in this not to like.
Polls do suggest that Americans have their questions about deportations and even the work of DOJ, but certainly the jobs report higher than expected. That is undeniable.
Nobody's going to rain on my parade, and these numbers are what they are. All these naysayers steeped in politics continue to be negative. That's okay, because 50K says you've all been wrong.
But history is still against President Trump, and he knows that he needs to go out there and sell the agenda.
If we can get the word out, we should win. The problem is that historically, 2 times the president's won in 50 years. 2 times. I don't know what that is. We have the hottest country in the world. I guess I have to sell that because we should win in a landslide, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
Well, we've got some good news coming out of Minnesota. It looks like the regime is pulling out. Yes, the Nazis are leaving Minnesota. And why is that? Well, it's because they finally decided to do that little thing called cooperation with ICE in getting the worst of the worst out. And look, all this tragedy that's happened in Minnesota could have been completely avoided. It is all on Tampon Tim and that idiotic mayor.
Operation Metro Surge is ending. The surge is leaving Minnesota safer, Minneapolis safer, because of the cooperation we got with the counties and the state and local law enforcement responding to our needs. I'll say it again. It's less of a sanctuary state for criminals.
And Bill Maher is again so close to being red-pilled, and he's complaining about his tribe and how they just, if you're not all in, you're pretty much all out.
Jimmy Kimmel, you know, he's very mad at me. This is the difference between the right and the left. It bugs me so much. My tribe is supposed to be the left, but these are the people who just can't talk to you unless you're exactly there.
Up next is a clip from a school walkout, and it is a socialist leader, organizer. I'm not sure what to call him, but he's definitely indoctrinating these kids, and I don't know why these people are allowed access to our children. Let's check it out.
And you have to keep saying, you have to make a distinction. You are not the big. Say it. You are not. I am not the big. I am the proletarian. And you have to keep saying, I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary. And I will keep being a revolutionary.
Well, there seems to be a rising faction amongst the far left, and they could be a legitimate threat to democracy in this country as we know it. Let's see what's going on. Raging Grannies of Rhode Island. Oh no, Raging Grannies are Antifas too. Well, let's take a look at this rambling bunch of grannies, and oh no, they are ferocious looking. They're fierce. They've got their walkers out. And they've got a pretty nice banner to boot. Let's see them in action, my friends.
Alone, hear us, I swear unto you, and we know what we're gonna do. We are free and unafraid, and we'll stop your racist raids. Yes, we are free and unafraid. And we'll stop your racist raids.
We have a lot of outrage from the left right now because the SAVE Act just passed the House with one Democrat jumping ship and supporting the evil Nazi Republicans. And the hypocrisy is just so rich, so full on the left. We've got a nice little video of President Obama when he was running for president, casting a vote for himself, and guess what document he had to provide in order to cast that vote? What do you think it could be? Let's check it out.
He needs an ID.
Oh, that you're right. Hold on. I got my driver's license here. Here you go.
So even President Obama needed to provide an ID in order to vote. And he was all for it then, but let's see what his stance is now. Republicans are still trying to pass the SAVE Act, a bill that would make it harder to vote and disenfranchise millions of Americans. You're an idiot.
And House Republicans have been working so hard to ensure the integrity of American elections. We had a big win tonight because we passed the Save America Act, and only one Democrat out of all of them joined us in that very common sense piece of legislation. John, all it does is it ensures that if you're going to register to vote, you have to have proof of citizenship, and when you show up to vote, you have to show a photo ID. These are 90% issues in public polling, and 70% of Democrats agree that it should be the law. Only one House Democrat voted for it tonight.
So the Democrats are screaming that it's Jim Crow 2.0, and I guess what they mean is that black people and Hispanic people are too dumb and stupid to be able to get an ID. I mean, that's essentially what they're saying. But they're just on the wrong side of this argument. Let's check it out. When asked should the valid photo ID be required, yes, 84%. Only 16% said no. It's nearly 90% in favor of having an ID. And Tim Burchett said, I can't understand the problem with producing a valid ID to vote. The Democrats have been producing a death certificate to vote for years. That is so true.
There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? I mean, it sounds pretty condescending to me.
4 or 5 years ago, we heard this hyperbole, this inaccurate reference to Jim Crow 2.0 when it comes to so-called voter suppression. I mean, look at the state of Georgia in 2021. They passed something called the Voter Integrity Act, and President Biden, Vice President Harris, at the time evoked Jim Crow, and many in the media echoed that sentiment. Then, John, a funny thing happened. Georgia held actual elections under the new voting laws, and every voting record it had in modern history were blown out in terms of turnout. No one reported anything around suppression or not being able to vote. And before this happened, we saw Major League Baseball, you remember this, All-Star game was taken out of Atlanta because of this ridiculous rhetoric around Jim Crow 2.0. And many businesses, ironically, including those run by minorities, were hurt in the process. We've heard the stats over and over again by Peter, by the House Speaker, on other networks. Nearly 9 in 10, basically, now Americans support voter ID, 85%, 84% in the Fox poll, including an overwhelming majority of blacks and Latinos, even Democratic voters. If this is the hill the blue team wants to die on, it shows they're probably just, I don't know, high on their own supply at this point.
And here's Kamala Harris basically saying that people from the black community and the Hispanic community are just too stupid, too poor, and they can't figure out how to even get to the place where they need to go vote. She is absolutely stupid, and I thank God she didn't become our president.
Because in some people's mind, that means, well, you're going to have to Xerox or photocopy your ID to send it in to prove you are who you are. Well, there are a whole lot of people, especially people who live in rural communities, who don't, there's no Kinko's, there's no Office Max near them.
Fortunately for us, reality comes crashing down on Kamala's absurd argument, and when you take it to the streets and ask those in the black community about voter IDs and IDs in general, well, they say something completely different.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so like we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. Like, that's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy camera?
I know, right? That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's at on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that black people, especially poor black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can access the internet
Unlimited.
Unlimited data?
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's why my thought process on it.
I just think that's ignorant. It's ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I'm hearing a lot.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
It's very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you know, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, but you're judging them because they black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Are you
Love
cool?
showing my ID.
You got no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote? Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
And of course, their go-to argument is always, wow, this totally doesn't happen. Nobody illegal votes in elections. I mean, come on, that's like impossible.
These guys say that the Save America Act is needed to prevent undocumented immigrants from voting, but y'all already know that that is not a thing.
A jury just convicted a woman in Massachusetts of voter fraud.
We're talking about a 59-year-old illegal immigrant who's been in the country for years, stole someone else's identity, and then voted in the 2024 presidential election. Take a look at this photo here. This is Lina Maria Arovio Hernandez. In this picture, you can see her, Martha, wearing that I voted sticker that we all get when we go to cast our ballots.
And because they have no policy, they have to continue to use the tired trope of white supremacy, that any type of voter ID is just a way to maintain such power that the white devils will always be in control.
Look, as I hear my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, what I hear is the same racist, misogynistic trash, different decade. Republicans are invoking historical policies intended, let's be clear, to disenfranchise Americans, especially working people, women, students, indigenous people, and anyone who can't afford the burdens of a new bill. The Save America Act is yet another Republican attempt to intimidate and suppress the votes of anyone who threatens their extremist white supremacist agenda.
You have to understand these people are communists. There's no truth but power. Everything they do is for power. So they'll lie, they'll call you the N-word, they'll shit in your Cheerios as long as it brings them more power. That's why they'll do shit like, oh, it's white supremacy ask for voter ID. Nah, bitch, in Kenya, they put ink on people's thumbs the last 3 days. We can have voter ID here. Come on, bitches.
Let's just go over a few instances where an ID is required. Let's check it out. All right, ID required. Buying a beer. Okay, check. Picking up a prescription. Depending on the prescription, I guess. Yeah. Renting a car, of course. Boarding a flight. Yeah, good luck trying to get on without an ID. Buying cold medicine. Again, depending on what it is. Getting a piercing. Yeah. And a tattoo, I think. I think you need an ID for a tattoo. Donating blood, of course. Renting a hotel room. Yeah, I did auditing for a hotel for a little bit. Yeah, you definitely need an ID. Can't do it without. Expressing your Second Amendment rights. Very true. Opening a bank account. Can't do it without. Oh, but voting in American elections? Yeah, no problem. You don't need it. Who cares? It's total. It's a racist. It's white supremacy. It's all those retarded, stupid arguments that the left have. Ay. And let's remember, my friends, if you are against voter ID, well, then you are with us. Nobody wants to be with them. All right, my friends, it is time to watch a few random clips from around the internet. This first one shows exactly what people are resorting to get rid of the snow off the streets. Let's check it out. And this mother knows exactly what kind of person her son just married.
There, and I drove down the highway, right in front of the beach.
Yeah.
Or, the water.
68 or something, I forget which one. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This next clip has a real twist at the end, and I don't think you're going to see it coming. Well, I guess I should say you're not going to hear it coming.
Look at there. Got that one. Got that one. Look at all these trailers. They shut all these drivers down because they could not speak English and confiscated all these trailers, had their tractors towed, leaving it up to the brokers or the company to come get the trailers.
I just have to ask before you watch this next clip, what is going on with this lady's eyes? Is she okay? Is she under duress? Just blink twice if you need help.
Market. I'm joined by Lindsay Stanton. She's the Chief Client Officer of DigiMe, and I want to talk to you about this jobs report. A lot of people are, of course, celebrating over it and touting about how great it is. But, of course, there's the other angle, this participation rate. Explain that to us and why we need to look at that.
Absolutely. Well, we're in a very good position to talk about what's going on in the job market. We work with a lot of Fortune 1000 organizations, and we get a good pulse on what's ramping and areas of growth. We also work with
And now, after the noise.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear James. Happy birthday to you.
It is there.
It comes via police body cam footage from Louisville last month. A missing 3-year-old child, more than a half-dozen officers on the search. They sent up a helicopter, but had no luck until this happened.
Oh, what's up, dude? There's a dog. Where's he at? Let's go.
That's Officer Josh Thompson responding to a dog that seemed to have something important to say.
It led me all the way back to the backyard. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, this kid's in this backyard.
And sure enough,
the dog went right to the back bumper. Check the rear here. Goes to the back bumper and just sat there.
Yeah, he's right here.
After a quick lesson in car locks,
Grab and pull it. There we go! I don't think I've ever seen a happier kid in my life. He jumped out of the car, bear hugged my neck, and wouldn't let go.
Good job, buddy.
The dog had cracked the case.
Bless, he found him.
Man, I don't know where the dog came from, but it was a blessing from God that day.
And here's the thing about that dog. Officer Thompson says he'd been patrolling that neighborhood for 2 years and had never seen the dog before that moment. And he hasn't seen the dog since that day. And to this very day, the department still does not know who the dog belongs to.
Well, my friends, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and thank you very much for all those that subscribed. And listen, my friends, the best thing you can do is just tell everybody you know about The Dave Show. And until the next episode, stay safe, know that you're loved and appreciated. And until we meet again, have a great day.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.